Every town has abandoned buildings, old schools, closed factories, empty houses. Nobody thinks much about them, at least, not until mail starts showing up. The town of Willow Run sat about 30 miles from the nearest interstate. It wasn't completely forgotten, just quiet. The kind of place where everyone knew everyone. The kind of place where news traveled faster than the internet. The kind of place where people noticed strange things. The first letter appeared sometime in April. Nobody knows exactly when. A postal worker named Greg noticed it during his route. There was nothing unusual about the envelope itself. No return address, no stamp, just an address written in neat black handwriting. 14 Cedar Street, Willow Run, Ohio. The problem was simple. Nobody lived there. Nobody had lived there for 15 years. The house had burned down during an electrical fire. Only the stone foundation remained. Greg assumed somebody had made a mistake. He tossed the envelope into the undeliverable pile and forgot about it. The next morning another letter appeared. Same handwriting, same address, same missing stamp. Again, he set it aside. The third day there were 3 letters, all addressed to the empty lot. By the end of the week, there were 12. The local post office finally opened one. Inside was a single sheet of paper. Only one sentence. Tell them we are still here. No signature, no explanation, nothing else. People laughed about it for a while. Then more letters started arriving. Not just to Cedar Street, to dozens of abandoned locations around town. The old elementary school, the collapsed grain mill, a closed gas station, an empty church. Every letter carried the same handwriting. Every letter lacked a stamp. Every letter contained a different message. The light stopped working. The bridge is gone. Please answer. Why won't anyone come back? The town became obsessed. People shared photos online. News stations visited. Experts investigated. But nothing helped. Nobody could figure out where the letters were coming from. No fingerprints. No DNA. No security footage. Nothing. Then someone noticed something worse. The letters weren't random. They were conversations. One envelope read, "Did you hear the siren?" A week later another arrived. We heard it too. Then nobody came. Another, "We are running out of time." It was as though people were talking to each other through abandoned buildings. Theories spread everywhere. Most were ridiculous. A prank, an art project, teenagers, a marketing stunt. But none of those explanations lasted long, because the letters started predicting things. Small things at first. A broken water main, a transformer fire, a power outage. Every prediction came true. Then came the letter that changed everything. It arrived at the abandoned elementary school. Inside was another single sentence. Do not ring the bell tomorrow. Nobody knew what it meant. The school had been closed for 20 years. There was no bell. The next afternoon, workers began demolition on a nearby building. At exactly 2:17 p.m., a piece of equipment struck a buried electrical line. A surge traveled through old underground wiring. For the first time in decades, the abandoned school's bell rang 3 times. Witnesses said the sound echoed across the entire town. The next day, another letter arrived. We heard it. That was when people stopped laughing. For the first time, residents became genuinely afraid. Then the map appeared. A local teacher spread dozens of letters across her dining room table. She noticed something. The addresses formed a pattern. Every abandoned location receiving letters sat on the edge of town, like points on a circle. At the center of that circle was a place nobody talked about anymore. An old post office. The original Willow Run post office, built in 1902, closed in 1978. Boarded up ever since. People immediately wanted answers. A group of volunteers entered the building that weekend. Flashlights, cameras, phones, everything recorded. The place looked untouched. Dust everywhere, rotting shelves, broken windows, but nothing unusual. Until they reached the basement. There, beneath decades of debris, they found rows of locked mailboxes, hundreds of them. Every door rusted shut, except one. Box 117. Its door stood slightly open. Inside sat a stack of envelopes. Fresh envelopes. Perfect condition. No dust, no damage. As though someone had placed them there minutes earlier. The top envelope contained a message. You finally found us. The group left immediately. Nobody wanted to stay. Nobody wanted to open the remaining letters. But curiosity won. The town gathered the next day. One by one, the envelopes were opened. Every message sounded like it came from people trapped somewhere else. Some were very similar to Willow Run, but not exactly the same. The tunnel collapsed. The river disappeared. The sun never came out today. We cannot leave. Then came the final envelope. The room went silent as it was read aloud. The message was only 9 words. Please stop delivering the letters after September 14. Everyone stared at each other. September 14 was still months away. Nobody understood until another person checked the date. The original Willow Run post office had closed on September 14, 1978, exactly 48 years earlier. That night, dozens of residents reported hearing footsteps outside their homes. Not one set, hundreds, as though an entire crowd was walking through the town. The next morning, every abandoned location received a final envelope. Each contained the same sentence. We know you can hear us now. And after that, the letters stopped. Completely. No more envelopes, no more messages, no more predictions. Nothing. The old post office was sealed. The mailboxes were removed. Life slowly returned to normal. Mostly. But every 14th of September, something still happens. When the town is quiet enough, residents say they can hear a mail slot opening somewhere in the darkness. And if you walk past the old post office after midnight, you might find a fresh envelope waiting on the front steps. No stamp, no return address, just one question written on the front. Did you ever leave?